But let's move on for now. 9:33 left in the second quarter. Ohio State is driving inside the 30-yard line. It's 3rd and 11, and Kyle McCord is strip-sacked, and it's returned for a touchdown by Curtis Jacobs. It was an absolutely elite play from Curtis Jacobs. Blows up the offensive lineman on that side. This is a linebacker, not a D-end. Gets in there, strip-sacks Kyle McCord, and then picks up the ball himself and takes it in for a touchdown. It's the player of our season, honestly. It's reminiscent of those huge plays against Ohio State and Michigan of the past that, the calls that I put on my intro, the ones that get millions of views of the highlights on YouTube. It's one of those kind of plays. One of those, program-changing plays. And then the crucial holding call on Kalen King brought it back. Here's my opinion on the penalty, all right? I've thought about it for a few days, and I do think it is, I do think that should be called a penalty, all right? I do think that is holding. But my issue with that call is that Ohio State's DBs were being that handsy or more with our wide receivers the entire game, and it felt like it was never called. It might not have been called a single time. Pass interference or holding was not getting called all game. DBs were being super handsy, super physical. I felt like Ohio State especially was. It's one of their trademarks. Their team is coached to be extremely handsy on the DBs, and oftentimes they get penalized for it. And then here on the biggest play of our season, that holding call gets called. And like I said, I'm okay with that because I think it was holding. But I'm not okay with it because every single time that Ohio State's DBs do that exact same thing or worse, it was not called in the game. That's my issue with the call. And if you think about it, in a tie football game, Ohio State scores a couple plays later after a couple other bad penalty calls. And so basically it's a 14-point swing. Instead of it being 10-3 us, it's 10-3 them. And what Ohio State just does is they lean on their defense, they run the ball a million times, they get it to Harrison a couple times when they want to throw the ball, and they run down the clock, and they win the football game in a defensive slog. And the way Penn State was running the football at the beginning of this game, if you get that touchdown, it just entices Yursich and Franklin to say, all right, let's slow things down, let's run the football. But I think that touchdown really flipped a switch in Yursich or Franklin's head, and it absolutely killed their mentality. The game plan went out the window, and we stopped running the football, and it went to, well, we got to put this on Drew now. We got to throw the ball.